Hi guys, thanks for joining me today for Sketchbook Sunday, episode 21. So in my sketchbook, I am painting these little sky or cloud studies, and I'm just working on these with 5 separate colors, I guess technically 6, but those are quinacridone red, phthalo blue, perylene red, cadmium lemon, Payne's gray, and the last one is titanium white, whether or not you choose to consider that a color. Today I also wanted to do a brief Q&A. I was going through some of my YouTube comments and I'm just gonna handpick a few to answer. So the first one is from a user by the name of YouTube Lover. Very relatable. Can you make a video about how you edit your videos and your camera setup, please? Thank you, by the way, I love your paintings. Well, thank you very much for your kind words. If this is something that you guys are interested in seeing, I could absolutely do that. I'm actually about to get another camera, so, once I get that, I'll be able to film with the other camera as well, and that will help me in producing this video. So I can actually film my equipment with a quality camera, because so far I only have one, my Canon T2i, which is a great camera, but it's older, and I'm going to be upgrading onto 2 other cameras. So for now, that's what I'm working with. Andre Payne, what kind of artist are you? I'm not sure which context this question is being asked, but I guess you could say I'm a spontaneous artist. I don't know, do you mean like an art category? Because I really don't have one for myself. I think my art encompasses a wide variety of styles it can fall into. It's got some impressionist elements to it. There's obviously the realism, element of surrealism. So I don't know, it just depends on the painting. It's kind of a combination of a lot of different things. Parsimonious TV, did I say that? Parsimonious TV? I don't know if I said that word right. Okay, says, I'm graduating from high school this year and I really want to be an artist, but I don't know how to do it. I want to go to an art school, but I don't have the money to. I know there has to be other ways to make art my career, but how? So I think art school is completely up to the individual. I don't advocate it, and I don't advocate against going to art school. It is entirely a case-by-case type of deal. So I would say the alternative is to start building your social media following. Eventually, you might find people that want to purchase your work. I think first and foremost, you have to focus on the work. I have a whole video that I did all about growing a social media following and tips and information about that. But in that video, I stress that you want to focus on the art and producing a quality body of work to work in series and just really become completely obsessed with painting or whatever art form it is that you want to do. I think that's in providing quality to your customers, to your collectors, to people who are interested in your work. Don't make art for the sake of being a full-time artist. Make art for the sake of making art. And once that is the reality, you could potentially end up being a full-time artist. But I would say the internet is your best bet. You can try doing local art shows and galleries near you. There's some cafes that exhibit paintings, and I've sold some work that way as well. So there's really just a whole bunch of different ways that you can try and get your foot in the door and get your art out there. But I would definitely say the internet is the most important tool currently in present day. And even if you are in art school, you should still have your own pages for your art where you upload your process and your paintings. Basically have an easy way for people to find you, to find your art and find out more about you. Make all of that information easily accessible. Julie asks, what should I use to varnish my finished oil painting? How many layers? So I would recommend a product called Gambar, which is a varnish made by Gamblin. It's a little bit different than your normal varnish, where you would have to wait 6 to 8 months for painting to dry, or even a year depending on how thick the layers of paint are, and ain't nobody got time for that. So Gambar is actually awesome because you don't need to wait. You can varnish it as soon as it's dry to the touch. I usually do about 2 to 3 layers, sometimes just one thicker layer. It's a glossy varnish, but they just came out with a satin and matted varnish as well. And yeah, it's really wonderful. It's a breathable varnish, so your painting will continue to dry. If there's, layers of paint underneath that aren't completely dry, you don't have to wait that 6 or more months for it. You could just be done with it. And it's removable by Gamsol. The thing with varnish is it is eventually intended to be removed later on from the painting to reapply it and clean it off. So yeah, that's the one I would recommend. It's not very expensive and it's a great product. I use it all the time. Chris asks, when you do the underpainting, do you wait for it to dry before you start adding layers or adding colors? Yes and no. So the thing with the underpainting is I use a lot of Gamsol in there, odorless mineral spirits, which is my paint thinner, my solvent. Because I use a lot of that, it makes the oil paint basically like the consistency of watercolor, and it also evaporates relatively quickly, along with absorbing into the layer of gesso on the actual surface of the painting. So it already pretty much becomes dry to the touch by the time I'm done with it. And so by the time I start bringing in colors, which is almost immediately after I paint it, it doesn't really affect my color layers. So I technically do wait for it to dry, although it's not 100% dry, but like I don't know, it just doesn't muddy up my colors. I am actually in the process of making a video all about underpaintings right now, so you guys will have some information about that, because I do get a lot of questions about that, so yeah. Riley Elizabeth asks, could you do a video about how you dispose of your waste, such as solvents, and how you clean your paintbrushes and where you throw the water away? So I made a video about how to clean my paintbrushes. I can link that in the description, but I have done that. And I've also made a video about how I recycle Gamsol. So I basically never have to dispose of my solvents because I just reuse them continually until there's none left, because they're either in the painting or they were used for the painting and they evaporated, or it was wiped on a napkin and it evaporated. So I never have a, fluid used form of Gamsol or any solvent that I need to dispose of. It's just constantly recycled, and I have a video about that as well, which I will link, so you should watch that. It could save you some money. Well, that is it for the Q&A. Thank you all so much for leaving comments and leaving questions in the comment section. I do appreciate that very much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit of a simple cloud study. My sketchbook's mostly for just experimenting and doing little studies to keep my brain active and in paint mode on days that I don't have time to commit fully to a brand new oil painting for each video. So it's been a great freeing type of process for me. I hope you guys have a beautiful week. I will see you in my next video. Bye!